Today's episode is titled My Mom. I'm live driving home, and the month of August is my mom's actual birth date. August 6th, 1954 was when my mom was born, and I always remember August, not just her birthday, but now I have a daughter, my youngest daughter, who is born on August 26th. And so they both had the August birthday. When August gets ready to come, there's an energy that I always feel because my mom is no longer in the physical. She's transcended the physical she passed away back in December 31st, 2008. New Year's Eve is when my mom transcended the physical plane. With that being said, when August comes around, it's always a month where it's like I'm always thinking about her. And even if my day or my life is really busy, there's some kind of energy that comes upon me where I notice, that it's like her energy is upon me and I can feel her inside of my heart. My mom, she left this earth plane at the young, ripe age of 54. And I was devastated when she left, and I didn't really give her permission to leave. I know that sounds very selfish, but a lot of times we give our loved ones permission to leave. That's why it's so difficult for them to leave. And it took me about 4 years of evolving consciously and moving through steps in my life. Of course, being a mom to my own children, to be able to heal the fact that my mom left me at a younger age. She was such a young soul as well. One thing I will say is that now I can actually speak with inspiration instead of speaking and I'm choked up inside of my throat and I feel like I can't swallow. I can smile because my mom is inside of my heart. She's a part of me. She's a part of my genetics. She lives on through me and my children. And the way I feel now is a different energy as opposed to when my mom first passed away. So I wanted to speak about my mom today and share the energy of many of you may have had moms who've transcended the physical plane and have passed on, and it can be rough. It can be rough because your mom is your first heartbeat. Literally, your mom is your first heartbeat because that's the first heartbeat you hear when you're in the womb. You never forget that. You love your fathers, don't get me wrong. The fathers are wonderful. Shout out to all the fathers and dads. But your mom is your first heartbeat. She carries you in the womb. And she gives you all of her genetics, her love, all of that and then some. It comes from when you're in the womb with your mom. And so that was very difficult when she transcended this physical plane into the non-physical. She still comes and visits me in many energetic forms as well, because there is no such thing as the end. You're just transcending energy into something else, correct? So many of you may have experienced that with your mom, where it could be a butterfly that does something different and you notice, like, that feels like my mom. When I had my youngest daughter, it was so auspicious and so wonderful that my mom showed up through the non-physical in the nurse that helped get me ready for childbirth. The nurse had the same exact name as my mom. And I remember when I went to the hospital, and the nurse said she was just a different energy. She was so caring, and she said, I'm going to get you ready for everything for your cesarean. And I said, okay, wonderful. And she said, my name is Nurse Vera. And I remember I was like, what did you say your name is? And she said, my name is Vera, Nurse Vera. And I said, oh my God, that's my mom's name. How on earth did you have my mom's name? And Vera is not a common name. So it just really, like, my heart started fluttering. And I said, my mom is here with me in childbirth. And even though she transcended the physical plane, she's here to assist this doctor in this room with me and my husband. And so my mom, her inspiration that lives through me, I could never forget her birth date month. In August, this is her August 6th, which is in 2 days. And I always go, oh, my mom's birth date is coming up. As if because she's still a part of me. She's still part of my heart. Like I said, I can smile because she was very inspirational. I understand now her whys for me and how she did the best that she could for me and my brother. But I always think of her even more intensely around this time. My mom, when she was here in the physical, I used to get her cakes for her birthday. And she would like cakes, and she would love flowers. And she used to say, make sure you get me my flowers while I'm here. I want my flowers while I'm on this earth, and I can enjoy them. And so I would get her a cake from this very famous bakery that had really good cakes, and it was called Neldham's Bakery in Oakland on Telegraph Avenue. And there was a special birthday cake. It was an 8-inch round cake, and she loved it with pineapple filling. Every year I would get it, and it was like our little ritual. And I would bring her flowers. I would sit down with her, and we would cut a slice of cake, and it's like Earth would stop. And that moment in time would just be us. And I have these I have these memories now that are so inspirational to me that I still have them inside, because they're wonderful memories. I can share them with my children. As a matter of fact, I do. And the way my mom was with me and the way she cared for me, I always remember to do the same for my children, even if it's just braiding their hair. My mom used to grease my scalp, and I don't know if you've ever had your mom grease your scalp, but I would literally call her up sometimes and say, Mom, I'm coming over because I need you to grease my scalp when I would have braids. And she would say, you know how to grease your scalp yourself. And I would say, but I want you to grease my scalp. And the reason I want you to grease my scalp is because you do it so well. Really, it was just a bonding moment that I loved having with her. And it's like in greasing my scalp, I would relax. It didn't matter what my day was. My days a lot of times back then would be strenuous. And she would grease my scalp, and I would just relax. My whole body would relax. And it was a mother's touch, literally. So this episode is about my mom. It is a dedication to her, because through her love and nurturing of me, I'm here. And she did so much for me, and I'm so appreciative of just all of who she was. I tried to do as much as I could while she was here in the physical to show her that. I even remember taking her to see the artist Howard Hewitt. I don't know if you know who Howard Hewitt is, but He used to be with a group with Jody Watley back in the day. I can't think of the name of the group, but she was head over heels for Howard Hewitt, loved Howard Hewitt's music. And my stepfather was a DJ, so he used to play Howard Hewitt's music. I was able to get tickets while my mom was living to take her to see Howard Hewitt. But I doubled down, and it was even better than that. I remember getting a chance to make sure she could see him like a VIP, where he would greet her. And so I told her, I said, Mom, not only are we going to this concert, you get a VIP where you get to meet him. And she was like, oh my God, are you serious? Are you serious? And I said, yes. And when I tell you, it's like my mom, it was like a dream come true. And she was like, oh my God, I can't believe you did this. I can't believe this is happening. And she hugged him and she took pictures with him. And oh, wow. I remember thinking to myself, this is amazing that this was able to happen. So shout out to all the beautiful moms in the world. And once again, this conversations with V is I'm going through a tunnel. It's darker on my face. This is a really cool tunnel too. This is a newer tunnel that they built underground, and I'm traveling through from Concord area back into the immediate Bay Area by San Francisco, but by like the Oakland Hills, which is really, really beautiful. So yeah, shout out to all the moms. Shout out to my mom. Her birthday's coming up August 6th. I'm so grateful that I'm here to be able to be a mom myself and take bits and pieces of her inspiration with me inside of my life. Peace to all of you kings and queens, and I'll see you next time.